We all know that Mystery Science Theater 3000 got its start right here on CW23.
This year, the gang is getting back together where it all began in the Twin Cities for the Rifftrax Live Mystery Science Theater 3000 Reunion Show.
Here we are inside State Theater with full access to Rifftrax Live thanks to our all-access press passes.
But before we go forward, let's take you back.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
MST3K and Rifftrax may have never been if it wasn't for us.
Okay, that's good.
CW23 was at one time called TV23.
AKA KTMA.
TV23, KTMA.
Yes, the same place where Season 0 of Mystery Science Theater was created, shot, and aired.
It was a great laboratory to build the thing in because we were the lowest rated station in the city, and our station manager would just walk in and jingle his change and chuckle and say, "You guys, I don't know what you're doing in here, but you go right ahead."
But did you know some of the same people that created it actually created a New Year's Eve show before that? Maybe some people here don't know, or people watching all over the world, that before Mystery Science Theater 3000, there was the Melon Drop.
It's a tradition that we liked so much, we brought it back to Channel 23 for the past 2 years.
Kevin came back last year, brought back Bob Bag of Donuts, and I just want to say, amazing performance. So thank you for that.
And we're back, and as you can see by the throng assembling outside the CW studios here, what would normally be an entirely festive crowd is clouded over with doubts.
This is going to save me a lot of phone calls, but will you all be there next year, please?
Well, he's got us on a technicality.
Yes.
We're on this panel. There's nothing we can do.
Exactly.
I guess so.
We lock the doors, too.
Yeah, put the cuffs on us.
I have no idea of anything you just said.
Is the Melon Drop a cocktail?
We don't have a TV.
There are cocktails at the Melon Drop.
Okay, so unlike Mystery Science Theater, the Melon Drop isn't exactly a household name, yet. But this year, we exploded on Twitter.
We did have Betty White, Mario Lopez, Don Shelby, Ragnar, the original Barbara and father and son from the 80s, Courtney Cox and Craig Ferguson, Fall Out Boy, and more, which thanks to Al Gore, you can now watch on YouTube 24 hours a day in your parents' basement in your underwear. So, suck it, Star Wars!
But we digress.
Not too different than you or me.
So yes, it's true. MST3K is our claim to fame. So, how did it get started?
Joel came to the station saying he had an idea for a show. He had sort of the basic rough outline that would become Mystery Science Theater. This guy trapped in space, forced to watch bad movies by a mad scientist. He's helped by his robot pals to get through the movies.
Robot, roll call, camera.
And from there, we just took what we knew about TV, Jim Mallon and I, and shaped it into a show. And Trace Ballou was one of the puppeteers, and Josh Weinstein. They were both friends of Joel's, and that was it.
The pilot was created, and shortly after, the show was on the air.
Josh and Trace got $25 a week per show if we were able to write the checks, because things were pretty grim then. We would write the show in the morning, shoot it in the afternoon, and then we had to clear the decks because at 5 o'clock we had to turn the cameras around to shoot Saturday night at ringside.
Episodes 0 through 3 are still missing. Where did the masters go?
I don't know, the station went bankrupt. I think people just started to take things.
It's in Al Capone's vault.
Don't worry, we'll keep looking through all our boxes in the back room for those missing episodes.
The show ended up running until 1999, at which time the cast had gone their separate ways, taking on many different projects. Riffing has continued to be a common thread.
There's been Cinematic Titanic, The Film Crew, The Mads Are Back, and of course, Rifftrax. Trace, Mary Jo, and Frank are also working on a project that pokes fun at Renaissance festivals called Renfest.
So here we are at the world's greatest living museum of early Renaissance history. We owe our world to the Renaissance.
But this Rifftrax Live MST3K Reunion is the biggest gathering of the cast since the show ended, including bringing together all 3 hosts for the first time. Tell me what happened when you guys all came in the same room. Was there like another big bang, or what happened?
I was framed against a window with my back to a sill, and I was smoking, and Jonah came in the room, and I was like, there you are, kid.
The Venetian blinds.
Jonah and I spent a ton of time just like pulling out clothes. I have a big trunk. I have a lot of stuff. I'm pulling out clothes in my hotel room, holding it up. What should I wear? What should I wear? He's doing the same thing. He's putting stuff on his head. And then next thing you know, we're here. Mike's wearing the exact same thing we're wearing.
We went,
It's great. We go,
go!
Jonah Ray will, of course, be the host of the new season of MST3K that was funded by the record-breaking Kickstarter campaign.
I was involved in a podcast, or I still am, called The Nerdist. Joel came by as a guest on it, and that weekend he was in LA. We actually ended up running into each other a few times, and then we just kind of struck up a friendship. And then he asked if I wanted to, be involved if he does anything in the future, and I said, of course. But one of the reasons that I went into comedy was because of that show.
This Rifftrax event was also funded by a Kickstarter campaign, proving just how much people wanted to get this gang back together.
It's a great opportunity to have them all come together on one stage for one event.
These guys have their own Mystery Science podcast.
It's something I bonded with my father over. Like when I was a kid, we'd sit on the couch and watch really bad movies, and I never got the joke. I just laughed because my dad was laughing, and it kind of grew into me actually laughing because I actually loved the show in the end.
Catherine is a VIP backer.
The talent behind these shows is so amazing that I just want to keep supporting their abilities to do what they can do.
So how does a live show like this happen?
Thanks to our all-access press passes, we found out.
I'm a producer here at Rifftrax, and I also help with the marketing and promotions and putting these shows together. It's a lot of fun.
If people can't make it to the live show, they're going to be able to see this in theaters throughout the country, and this is how all of that is possible.
This is where all the audio is mixed, so that all the different microphones, there's going to be 9 riffers on stage tonight, so we got to make sure all the levels are right, and then it matches up with the movie.
What happens if the power goes out in here?
Next question.
This is Cribs trailer style. Waiting for the part where they take us to the big fridge.
The video side.
I think the production crew is about 50 people. They all have a role in something that's really important to make sure that it goes off smoothly. It's kind of a high wire act, So the director will also be in here. So there's so many different cameras. So there'll be, camera 1, camera 2, and who's the tight shot. The riffers along the side. Usually Mike, Kevin, and Bill are up there now.
It kind of looks like a Brady Bunch remake.
A little bit.
More doors. What's behind door number 3?
What would you say does he do here?
Recording each individual camera, so that way later on, if they want to make something else about it, they can cut it up. We also record the whole program for playback at later dates and times.
Thank you.
Let's get back inside. What is going to happen tonight?
There's going to be a lot of screaming and a lot of laughing, and silliness will ensue.
Nothing better than being there in person. I mean, just the atmosphere, the experience is totally different than watching it.
And why do you love CW23 so much?
Because it used to be KTMA, where Mystery Science Theater began.
Yeah! All right, well, without further ado, it's showtime.
It's time for Rifftrax. And it's not an easy job. They watch movies and they make a joke.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the State Theater in Minneapolis, Minnesota, it's time for Rifftrax Live, the MST3K Reunion. And now, please welcome to the stage, Kevin Murphy, Michael J. Nelson, and Bill Corbett.
Somewhere far away, you could have wiener wraps and snacks. You fluff the cushions on your couch, you buy a TV. All your friends come over. Just imagine the surprise. You press play and then instead it's just a movie. Making jokes, professional jokes, not professional comedy.
All right, let's bring out some more pals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, our dear old friends. You know them as TV's Frank and Dr. Clayton Forrester, Trace Beaulieu, and Frank Conniff.
Yeah!
Welcome, Frank. Good to see you guys. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been, 20 years?
Yeah.
Backstage.
I forgot to tell you, Mike, I was going to be late for work for about 30 years.
I just want to say quickly, my 2 favorite crows right next to each other.
Well, it's time for a Riffapalooza!
Oh!
Yeah! Let's bring out all our guests!
This is our all skate. Joe Hudson, Trace Beaulieu, Mary Jo Peel, Frank Conniff, Bridget Nelson, Jonah Ray. Welcome back to the stage, you wonderful people.
Thank you.
twist a wire around the end of a braid, and you have a snake's head.
Oh, you didn't want a snake's head? Well, maybe if you weren't a stupid kid and passed a spelling test, you would get a gift.
Now build a grass Adam and Eve and act out the fall of man.
It's fun. Oh, Jesus!
Yes, with a few drops of your sweet, innocent child blood, your creations will breathe life.
Somebody has to tell these kids about video games.
As impossible as it seemed, this show completely lived up to all the hype.
Well, if you missed the live show, you can check out the encore in theaters July 12th.
And don't forget, classic episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000 are making their way back to your living room this fall on Comet TV.
And if you want more Rifftrax, you can download them at rifftrax.com. Now the only question is, when is the Rifftrax Live MST3K Reunion?
Reporting from Minneapolis,
John Foss
and Katie Andres, CW23.